congratulations tonight. Like I told you last time, I'm in love with your voice and I'm in love with your falsetto. Now I do have to admit, I became a little fanboy and I was stuck on your Spotify for some time.
Good.
I love January.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you.
I love that track.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. Like, oh, that's probably my favorite track I've ever put out.
Really?
Yes.
I'm like so in love with it. It's so vulnerable at the same time, and like, oh my gosh, like, can you tell me a little bit about that track?
So January is kind of a song, it's a plea of an apology. So like you're asking and begging for an apology for something from someone that hurt you so bad,
Right.
but you never want to tell them, hey, you hurt me, because you care about them. And you're like, I don't want to blame you for all of this pain that I feel, but you did hurt me. And could you give me an apology? Because my heart hurt pretty bad in January.
That was amazing. Like I was like I put it on repeat a couple times when I first heard it. I was like, this is incredible, and your voice is so vulnerable with it as well, and I think that's what I fell in love with the most. Now going from that song to the song that you've been performing here on the show, like Natalie, like how do you? I mean, what's that evolution for you personally? Like especially in the song and the singing.
So for me, with January, obviously, I love to keep this vulnerable feel throughout my music most of the time. I just love sad songs, my favorite. But coming on this show, and obviously the different melodies that I've done in Natalie are a lot different than January. Yeah. So it's kind of fun to play with, because Natalie is like falsetto, not falsetto. Yeah. We just got, it's like a little.
It's definitely a roller coaster. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, to see everyone receiving the song so well has been so incredible.
Now, when you found out that you were going to perform the song once again, you know, what is this new version like, and how much of an input did you have as far as like the stage this time around?
So I was kind of thinking bigger picture, I think, than what we had time for, because I was literally on last week. So they were like, we got a few days, girl. Like, you're like trying to do a whole story on the set. And I was like,
that's what happens when you're that good, though.
I was like, okay, if I make it to the finale, we're doing it. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of say in what I wanted to do. They were like, you know what? People loved it the first time. Don't change too much about it. Some people might not like it if you change it. So we kept it very simplistic still. And we obviously changed the dress, which was, we get a little purple feel. Right. And then I also came off mic stand this time. I thought that gave it a little, like maybe I was a little confident at the end. So yeah, just little small things. And obviously the pyro coming up behind me was crazy. I didn't even see it until I rewatched the clip, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Now back to your Spotify. I loved your version, your rendition of Justin Bieber's "Anyone." I feel like you made it your own. Why did you want to do that song and kind of recreate it the way that you did?
So my producer, ever since I started working with him, has always been really keen on covers, because covers are received so well by the public, and people are like, they want to hear something familiar. And so I wanted to do that song because I was like, it's such a vulnerable song itself, and I think a lot of the time it gets hidden by production when these, like a lot of bigger artists release it. And so I wanted to strip it back, and I wanted people to really feel the lyrics of the song. And yeah, I just made it my own, and I'm glad you liked it.
And lastly, I love the wordplay in Cheap Wine. Like, I'm just gonna go down your Spotify at this point. Like, your wordplay is incredible. Like, how do you perfect that? How do you write? I mean, did you already have that in mind? Like, this is the kind of stuff that I kind of want to write? Or is this stuff that kind of just evolved as you were finalizing the song, or maybe even in the recording studio?
So when I went in to write Cheap Wine, I kind of wanted to write this song about social anxiety and how you kind of feel out of place in social settings, and so you just rather be at home by yourself playing your guitar than drinking cheap wine at some random frat party. Right. And so that was the idea for it, and we went in, and obviously it was all about social anxiety first. No idea we were going to say cheap wine. And then we were in the studio, and I was like, I'd rather play guitar than drink cheap wine. And I was like, Carter, which is my producer, I was like, is this kind of cool? And he was like, it's kind of cool. So we just rolled with it, and it was awesome. That's
amazing. Well, congratulations. I'm seeing you again. Like, yes, we are, because this is the beginning for you. Like, I know your name is going to become a household name, and I'm like excited to see that happen. So congratulations with the show, and I guess we'll reunite soon.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Ada.